विहिता विहिता चरितमखेदा केशवधीता वीणा शरीरा
केशवधीता वीणा शरीरा
जय जगदीश केशवधीता कुर्मा शरीरा
केशवधीता कुर्मा शरीरा
केशवधीता कुर्मा शरीरा
केशवधीता कुर्मा शरीरा
जय जगदीश हरे
जय जगदीश हरे।
केशवधीता वामन रूपा
केशवधीता वामन रूपा
केशवधीता वामन रूपा
केशवधीता वामन रूपा
जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे हरि
केशवधीता वामन रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
क्षत्रिय रुधिरमये जगत अपगत पापा स्नपयसि पयसि शमित भवतापा
क्षत्रियरमये जगदपगत पापा स्नपयसि पयसि शमितभवतापा
केशवधीता भृगुपति रूपा
केशवधीता भृगुपति रूपा
जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे हरि
केशवधीता भृगुपति रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
वितरसि दीक्षुरनेधिक पतिकमनीया दशमुखमानि बलिवरमणीया
शशिदेशुरने दिक्पतिकमया दशमुखमाली बलिवरमणीया
केशवधीता राम शरीरा
केशवधीता राम शरीरा
केशवधीता राम शरीरा
केशवधीता राम शरीरा
जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवधीता राम शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
वहसि वपुषि विशदे वसनं जलदाभा फलहति भीतमिलिता यमुनाभा
वहसि वपुषि विशदे वसनं जलदाभा हरहति
भीतमिलिता यमुनाभा केशवधीता हर हर रूपा
केशवधीता हर रूपा
केशवधीता बलराम रूपा
केशवधीता बलराम रूपा
जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे हरि
केशवधीता बलराम रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
निन्दसि यज्ञ विधेरः श्रुति जाता सदय हृदय दर्शित पशुघाता श्रुति जाता सदय हृदय दर्शित पशुघाता केशवधीता बोध शरीरा
केशवधीता बुध शरीरा
जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश केशवधीता कल की शरीरा
केशवधीता कल की शरीरा
जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे हरि केशवधीता कल की शरीरा
जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
श्री जय देव कवेरिदमुदित मुदारा शुभ शुभदं भवसारा
श्री जय देव कवेरिदमुदित मुदारा
केशवधीता दशविध रूपा
केशवधीता दशविध रूपा
केशवधीता दशविध रूपा
केशवधीता दशविध रूपा
जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे हरि केशवधीता दशविध रूपा जय जगदीश हरे
जय जगदीश हरे
केशवधीता दीन शरीरा
केशवधीता वीर शरीरा
केशवधीता कूर्म शरीरा
केशवधीता पूर्ण शरीरा
केशवधीता सुकल रूपा
केशवधीता सुमल रूपा
केशवधीता नरहरि रूपा
केशवधीता नरहरि रूपा
केशवधीता वामन रूपा
केशवधीता वामन रूपा
केशवधीता विभूपति रूपा
केशवधीता विभूपति रूपा
केशवधीता राम शरीरा
केशवधीता राम शरीरा
केशवधीता हरधर रूपा
केशवधीता हलधर रूपा
केशवधीता बुद्ध शरीरा
केशवधीता पूर्ण शरीरा
केशवधीता कल्पी शरीरा
केशवधीता कली शरीरा
केशवधीता दशविध रूपा
केशवधीता दशविध रूपा
जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवधीता दशविध रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय दशय अवतार जय दशय अवतार दशय अवतार जय दशय अवतार जय दशय अवतार जय दशय अवतार दशय अवतार जय दशय अवतार हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
हरि
Sai Gaur Premanande. Now there is another beautiful bhajan, but I don't know if everyone can chorus this. It's not a
We can
technical.
try. We can try, bro.
I had one question about this one. Why didn't Jayadev Goswami write one sloka about Krishna? He goes from Ram to Balaram.
Because they all are incarnations of Krishna. Krishna is the avatar, is the source of all incarnation. And that's why at the end of every verse. It's a Keshavadrita. You know, incarnation of Keshav means Krishna.
I see.
Why it is Keshav? Oh, okay, I'll speak Harikatha. Otherwise it will start. So this is a little technical.
What's the bhajan name?
Oh. So Rati Sukha Sai 192 in this book here.
If it is a lot of rag, then yes.
Huh?
If it is a lot of rag, then we will not be able to.
I'm not familiar. I'm also trying.
I don't think it's in this book.
कुछ थोड़ा सा गर्म पानी दे दूँ तो काफी बात.
190?
192.
नाम बताओ.
It's Rati Sukha Sare.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's in this.
No, it's not in
No,
this.
it's in these. Translated in
It's in these, it's not in the spirals. So does somebody,
It's
there's
too
one more
old.
spiral in the front. Is somebody?
No spiral.
Oh, no spiral.
You're just trying.
Mobile phone.
I'm also trying.
No,
What
not
is
in
it?
this.
Wait, isn't that?
Oh yeah, that's also there. 190.
192.
Rati Sukha Sare Gatama Visare Madana Manohara Vesha Rati Sukha Sare Gatama Visare Madana Manohara Vesha Rati Sukha Sare Gatama Visare Rati Sukha Sare Gatama Visare Madana Manohara Vesha Nakuru nitam vini gamana vilambana Nakuru nitam vini gamana vilambana Anusaratam hridayesha Vasati vane vanamali Vasati vane vanamali Pina payodhara parisaramadana Pina Yoga Kisalaya Shayane किशलाय शयाने पंकजनयने
किशलाय शयाने पंकजनयने
निजमेव हर निधाना निजमेव हर ओ धीरा समीरे यमुना तीरे
धीरा समीरे यमुना तीरे
वसति वने वनमालिनी
वसति वने वनमालिनी
हरिणी अभिमानी रज मेरी रानी हरिणाभिमानी रजनी रानी ओ हरिणाभिमानी रजनी रानी Iyamapi Kuru mama vachana Satavara rachana Kuru mama Puraya madhuri pupama Puraya Shri Jaya Deva Prita Hari Seve Shri Jaya Deva Prita Hari Seve Om Shri Jaya Deva Prita Hari Seve Balayanti Bala Shri Jayadev Goswami ki
Jai.
His
Yes, it wasn't that bad.
Dhira Samire Yamuna Tire Vasuki Vane Vanamari. This is Dhira Samir from Vrindavan, the place Dhira Samir, where Gurudev take us to Brajmanda Parikrama. And every year in Kartik Parikrama, devotees sing this bhajan. So I was just remembering that.
Can we read the meaning? Because meaning was not.
No.
No.
Something about Gir Govinda is we can't go to explanations. It's just
Yes, we can do
it's very rasik and very deep, full of rasa. For that we need adhikar, qualification. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjan Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Gurve Gaurichandraya Radhikaya Kadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namaha Jaitam Suta Pangur Mama Mandamatir Gati Matsarvaspadam Bhujo Shri Radha Madan Mohan Bhaktya Vihinaya Parad Lakshay Shiktasya Kamaditarandu Madhe Kripamai Tam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Sharanarvindam Meghuviduram Van Bhumi Shamal Tamal Niruktam Tumeva Tadye Radhe Praptam Itam Nandan Deshutam Pratyadhoja Kunjam Dhruvam Radha Madhav Yajanti Yamuna Kule Rahe Kailaya Radha Madhav Yajanti Yamuna Kule Rahe Kailaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Can't get. He was finding
Vag
it. Did you find
Devta
it?
Chari Charit Charu Haan? Padmavati Charan Charan Chakravati Shivasudeva Rati Kevi Katha Prasiddham Karotu Jaiva Devim Kavi Prasiddham. So, in the sequence of observing those auspicious tithis, yesterday, day before yesterday, today, this house, this program, we are celebrating, means observing this tithi of Shri Jayadev Goswami. Rasik Acharya Shri Jayadev Goswami, whom Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to relish the songs of Shri Jayadev Goswami in Gambhira, in the association of Shri Sarup Damodar and Shri Ramananda Rai. The songs of Chandidas, Vidyapati, and Shri Jayadev Goswami and other, all those Rasik Acharyas, those who are already situated in that transcendental realm and whose absorption is always there. Charan Charan Chakravati, Padmavati Charan Charan Chakravati. Padmavati means Radharani. Her limbs are like a lotus. Lotus eye, lotus hands, lotus feet. Padmavati Charan Charan Chakravarti, Shri Jayadev Goswami, who wants to serve the lotus feet of Shri Radharani. So, a great composition by Shri Jayadev Goswami, Shri Geet Govinda, very very special. And the Mangala Charan, the invocation of Shri Geet Govinda, because this is a composition of a song book, where the meanings are very very deep and transcendental and rasik. Only Srila Gurudev can describe the meaning. Those even Gurudev was not openly describing this. It's very very rasik. If we hear this, if we describe this, we'll take this as material love between a girl and a boy. Whereas this is the transcendental love, the unconditional love between all Supreme Krishna, who has no lust, and Radharani, whose her all efforts and endeavors is to please Krishna, and there is no lust. Therefore, Atma indi priti vancha tate bole kam, Krishna indi priti vancha dhore prema naam. Anything for self-enjoyment is called kam. But all endeavors to serve the senses of the Lord, and when we say to serve the senses of Krishna, who is transcendental, who is not material, so one cannot serve the senses of Krishna with material senses. One has to come to the platform of the transcendentalness to serve the transcendental being, Shri Krishna. Material love has no space, no room there. One cannot have access to the service of Krishna. So who's serving Krishna? Who can only serve Krishna? Srimati Radhika Ekaha. Ka Krishna se prane janibu Srimati Radhika Ekaha. Ka asya presya anupam guna Radhika Eka nachanyam. Only Radharani can serve Krishna. The origin of the love of Krishna is Srimati Radhika. And only Srimati Radhika can serve Krishna. And that's why Kanti Shabde Krishna Sakal Vancha Roy, Krishna Sakal Vancha Radhita Rahi. There is a verse described by Kaviraj Goswami Chaitanya Chitamit. Devi Krishnamai Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Kanti Sarv Lakshmi Vai Sarv Kanti Samohani Paraha. Kanti in general sense means splendor. But Kanti described by Kaviraj Goswami means all the desires of Krishna. Kanti Shabde Krishna Sakala Vancha Roy. Kanti means all the desires of Krishna. And Krishna Sakala Vancha Radhita Rai. And all the desires of Krishna can only be fulfilled by Radharani. Nacha Anyam. No one else. So, Shri Jayadev Goswami in Shri Geet Govinda, describing those moods of union, milan of Radha and Krishna, the intensity of that union, and not only that, describing the separation of Radharani with Krishna, the separation of the supremacy of the separation of Radharani, what she feels in separation from Krishna. So, try and understand this. She is feeling separation from Krishna, that doesn't mean Krishna is superior. And the Mahima, the glories of Radharani is minimized because she is feeling separation from Krishna. But our Acharya is describing, especially Shri Jayadev Goswami is describing, the supremacy of Radharani's separation over Krishna's separation. What she goes through in separation from Krishna, but even Krishna have no access to that. Understand my point? The point here is, while describing the separation of Radharani for Krishna, is not minimizing the glories of Radharani. But in that separation of Radharani for Krishna, glorifying, maximizing the glories of Radharani, what she goes through in separation from Krishna, which even Krishna have no access to that. And Krishna wants to have access to that. And he gets so much restless. What she goes through in my separation, I also want to taste this. That's the mode of Sri Jayadeva Goswami in Gita Govinda. Announcing the supremacy of Radharani, the Ashya Vigraha. And then, in the union, the Milan of Sri Radha Krishna, who is more inclined? Is Radharani more inclined to see Krishna, or Krishna is inclined, equally inclined to see each other? That's pure love about. But in comparison, Krishna is more restless and inclined to see Radharani. Understand? This is all transcendental and spiritual. Don't relate this with any of material transactions or any dealings. No. That's why the difference is, it is said the difference is like Kam, Andatam and Prem Nirmal Bhaskar. Lust is like in a mode of darkness and like an iron. And it's totally in darkness because this is all sense enjoyment about. But Prem is Nirmal, very pure and effulgent like sun. That's the difference between Kam and Prem. So right in the beginning, in the introduction, Srila Gurudev is explaining in this Gita Govinda, what Sri Jayadeva Goswami is describing, the loving affairs of the transcendental beings, of the supreme beings, not ordinary human beings. That is pleasing even to the senses of Krishna when he hears his own dealings with Radharani. Krishna gets restless. And some transformations happen in his body. The ecstasies. Transformation means ecstasies. The spiritual, transcendental ecstasies. And that's why Krishna cannot resist. As Sri Jagannath, he runs to hear the songs of Sri Jayadeva Goswami, especially this Gita Govinda. Jayo Jayo Deva Hare, Jayo Jayo Deva Hare, Shita Kamala Kucha Mandala Dhrita Kundalai Kalita Lalita Vanamala Jaya Jaya Deva Hare. In Jagannath Puri temple, in the morning, Mangalarti of Lord Jagannath is with Gita Govinda. And the shrine making Jagannath to rest is also by Gita Govinda. Jagannath cannot survive without Gita Govinda. But their way of, if you ever go Mangalarti in Jagannath temple, their style is different. Shita Kamala Kocha Mandala Adishita Kamala Kocha Mandala Dhruta Kundala Dhruta Kundala Kalita Lalita Vanamala Jayo Jayo Deva Hare 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 Jayo Jayo Deva. This is how they sing it. All, even localized it. They come from Mangalarti and they all know this song. Yeah. So, Jagannath is Krishna, Radha Bhav Vibhavit Krishna, means Jagannath means Krishna who is absorbed in the moods of Radharani, remembering Radharani. That Krishna, when he hears his own glories described by Shri Jayadev Goswami, Gita Govinda, Krishna is Jagannath very fond of hearing this, and he runs to hear this. And in the morning, pujaris, when they're opening the door of the temple, they see Lord Jagannath outfits are all torn everywhere. And they assume that maybe any thief, someone came to rob something. And this is happening every night. Someone is singing Gita Govinda and Krishna, Jagannath is running to hear that. Imagine the potency of Shri Jayadev Goswami's describing Shri Gita Govinda. How much potency and how much ras is present there. How much ras, that's the speciality of Shri Jayadev Goswami, that Rasik Shekhar Krishna Param Karun. That Krishna who is Rasik Shekhar. Yeah. He's running to hear this ras song of Shri Jayadev Goswami. How much Rasik is Shri Jayadev Goswami? Krishna is Rasik Shekhar, and who can understand ras? Krishna. He's Rasik Shekhar, king of Rasiks. And what Jayadev Goswami is describing is full of ras. Yeah. So ras can only attract Rasik. Understand? So that's why Krishna is running to hear this. And when it's happening every night like that, then King Jagannath came in dream of King and saying that, don't worry, there's no thief, no one is here, it's just me who runs to hear, and I'm very fond of hearing Gita Govinda. From that day onward, King Indradyumna Maharaj, he and other kings, they made this a system that everyone should read this Gita Govinda for waking up the deities, means Lord Jagannath, and also making him sleep in the night. There's a very fine cloth where Gita Govinda is written, and that fine cloth is kept on the head of Jagannath, and then he goes to sleep. Understand? Not only that, Jagannath, Rasik Shekhar Krishna, but even Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. Radha Bhav Vibhavit. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also runs to hear Gita Govinda. Jai Jai Deva Hari. He also runs to hear this. And he's relishing this in the association of Rasiks. Who are Rasiks? Sarup Damodar and Shri Ramananda Rai. So what is present in Gita Govinda? As I was describing, the separation of Radharani or Krishna. And the man, Radharani's sulky mood for Krishna. Hetur ahetu yunam man uchyate. Sometimes with cause, sometimes without any cause. Radharani is always manani. Manani? Always sulky mood. Sometimes some cause, sometimes there is no cause. Because Krishna is pacifying the man of Radharani. So these descriptions are there, very rustic descriptions. On the top of that, when Radharani is not happy with any of Krishna's endeavor to pacify, Krishna inputs so much endeavors, all his, what do you call, sab tarah ke,
Hatkande apnana.
When he's used every tool under his
every
belt.
tool
Yeah.
to pacify Radharani. It is not happening. And he burns in that separation of Radharani. So what he says, Gurudev's favorite line, Smaragava Khandanam, Mama Shirasi Mandanam. Dehi Pad Pallav Udaran. Swargalakhandana. This mood of separation is like a poison, is rising. Mood of separation to meet Radharani, to have Milan, meeting with Radharani. And the separation is going so high, so high. It's like a poison rising my head. I will die. I am so restless. So what is the remedy? Dehi Pad Pallav Udaran. Oh Radhe, please get satisfied. Okay, see, I'm placing my peacock feather. I'm very proud of that. That's the only speciality and copyright in Vrindavan. I'm keeping my peacock feather at your lotus feet. The flute, which I always carry, and is my best weapon, I'm keeping that flute at your lotus feet. And I'm keeping my head at your lotus feet. Smargalakhandanam mama shirisi mandalam. Dehi Pad Pallav Udaran. I'm not speaking in sequence, but coming the course. Shri Jayadeva Goswami, while meditating on this scene, imagine he's seeing those pastimes, he's capturing those scenes. Where is his absorption? He used to stay with his wife, Padmavati. But where is his absorption? His absorption, he's seeing, he's witnessing those pastimes. How Krishna is pacifying Radharani. You know? So what acharyas, why they write this? How they write those songs and scriptures, those books? How? They are capturing those scenes and they are writing them. So while writing this Geet Govinda, seeing all those beautiful scenes, especially the superiority of Radharani in separation from Krishna, and now Krishna's separation from Radharani. Radharani never said to Krishna, that Smaragar Khandanam, I place my head at your lotus feet. Did ever she said? Krishna tried this. Once upon a time, Krishna is thinking, why always Radha is manifesting that man? Sometimes cause, sometimes without any cause, for no reason, and makes me all the time running after her. He likes that. But I will also try one day. Tomorrow I will try this. Like she to her man, I will also imitate her. And let me see how she is going to pacify me. Understand? Krishna is trying to imitate Radharani. Krishna was sitting in Kunja before Radharani. It's always Radharani's prior to Krishna with her all shingar and waiting for Krishna to come. But this time Krishna came prior to Radharani. And Radharani, after all shingar, when she came in the Kunja, Krishna is already there, and by seeing Radharani, he is imitating, turning his face around. Krishna is turning his face around. And Radharani is seeing this. Okay, acha. She said, "Oh pyare Shyama Sundar, oh my beloved Shyama Sundar." And just Krishna heard, "Oh my beloved Shyama Sundar," his heart melted and he said, "Yes." He is dear. He can't hold that separation. I mean, he can't hold that man. Just by hearing the sweet words. Oh beloved Shyam Sundar, and cannot maintain his man. And he turned his face. Yes, my dear. But if Radharani is doing this, her heart also melts. Sometimes. But then there is someone to check on her. Dhurte vraje sutanaye tanushushtabhamyam ma dakshina bhavakananka nilagavaya Radhe giram shunam iti shikshayanti Devim gunai sulalitam lalitam namami Lalita Saki. Immediately check on Radharani. Come on, be strong. Don't melt. Maintain your man. Let him do. Uthak better. Let him pacify you. But there is no one to guide Krishna for that. So in separation, her separation is very high for Krishna, from Krishna. She relishes more in union with Krishna and separation. But Krishna, feeling that separation and to pacify Radharani, he places peak of feather and flute. Till this point, Jayadeva Goswami is understanding. When he is seeing this, he is visualizing this scene. But when Krishna places his head and praying for Radharani, saying Smaragala Khandanam, what is the meaning? Panditji?
I'm like in deep separation, so you keep your feet on my head.
What is the complete meaning of the word? Smaragala Khandanam Mama Shivsi Mandalam. What is Garal?
Garal is poison.
Poison. Separation is compared to as poison, and union is compared to as nectar. That's why Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu body is compared to as a pot of Vish Amrit Ekatra Vilan. The pot, a combination of nectar and poison together. That's Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Chaitanya. Intense meeting. What can be more than this? Radha Krishna combined. But in that combined form, intense separation. Tasting that intense separation. So, Vish Amrit Ekat Milan. The pot of nectar and poison together in one form. That's Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. So when Jayadeva Goswami when he saw this and he was writing, he can't write this point. He can't write. He kept his pen down. I can't. His hand shaking. This is something very high. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Hand shaking. And told his wife, I'm going to take bath. Shri Jayadeva Goswami left, and another Jayadeva Goswami, double role. Means Krishna disguised as Shri Jayadeva Goswami. Krishna who is Rasik Shekhar and Jayadeva Goswami who is Rasik. Krishna came as Shri Jayadeva Goswami there. And the wife said, and he started writing with his own hands. He completed that verse where Jayadeva Goswami was stopped and his hands were shaking. Because this is something true. And Krishna claims this. This is true. It's not lie. And what you're seeing, visualizing is not a dream or it's not just something. It's actually happening. I place my head at the lotus feet of Radharani to subside that poison which has risen to my head. The poison of separation. Understand? He wrote down and then he left. And meanwhile the original Jayadeva Goswami, Jayadeva Goswami came and wife said, why you came in between and you wrote something? What was that in your meditation? I also want to hear that. He said, who? No, I didn't came. I told you I'm going to take bath in Ganga. And after taking bath I just came. She said, no, you came in between and you wrote and you again you went back. He said, no, what you saying? She said, see, when Jayadeva Goswami, he started thinking, oh, what is strange, what she's saying is something is there. When he checked his writing, Dalpatra, that's 1,000 years back, when he checked his writing, what he saw, स्वर्ण अक्षरों से लिखा हुआ, मतलब
Golden letters.
golden letters. Krishna himself came as Jayadeva Goswami and he wrote this. Smarga khandanam, mama shirasi mandanam, dehi pad pallav udaram. O Radhe, place your lotus feet on my head. And please get satisfied from your man. I cannot live without you. Cannot live without you. That's separation of Krishna. So this again shows what is that present in the divine lotus feet of Sri Radharani. What is that? Just like we say, Nitai pada kamala Koti chandra surushitala Je chaya jaga tajuraya. The lotus feet of Shri Nitya Prabhu is compared to as million of moons, soothing like million of moons. Similarly, when we say lotus feet of Radharani, lotus means soothing. The effulgence which come from the one ray, there so many infinite rays comes from the one toenail of Sri Radharani. Moon have rays, right? Moon rays. How many moon rays are there? Infinite. The effulgence which emanates from the one toenail of the Radharani's lotus feet diminish the pride of moon. One ray diminish the pride of moon. Oh moon, you'll be so proud. You're giving soothing to the entire world. But nothing more than one ray from the toenail of Radharani. So much cooling effects are there. And Krishna wants to get this. He knows the glories of Radharani's lotus feet. So therefore, only one remedy. Oh Radhe, I request you, place your lotus feet on my head, so that this poison which is rising, the poison of separation, can be subsided. In other words, I can have your meeting together in a very sophisticated way, in a general way I'm explaining, but there are many details in that. So that at least I can get touch of your feet on my head. And that's only my life. Bole tuhu bina kaha rasa, tuhu lagi mora bara javasa. Krishna cannot live without Radharani. Bole tuhu bina kaha ras. Oh Radhe, without you I cannot perform ras. Only because of you I am staying in Braj. I have no other purpose of staying in Braj. I have no other purpose. My only purpose is you. Seems like very romantic love story. But this romantic love story is pure in nature. And so many rishis and sadhus, great personalities like Brahma, Shiva, Narad, they all want to attain this lotus feet of Sri Radharani. Naturally, the lotus feet of Radharani is naturally reddish, pinkish like lotus. I was in Guyana recently. My goodness, lotuses are just like in drains. They are like abundance. White, pink, this size, big size, just like drain. Yes, you saw that?
Slums.
The whole on slums everywhere, just lotus. You see lotus everywhere, everywhere. So that's a country of lotus. So when I was seeing that, I was remembering, I remember two things. I was in taxi, in a cab, seeing all these lotuses, I was remembering, this is how Kunti Devi prayed in first canto Bhagavatam, describing the limbs of Krishna as lotus. Namo Pankaj Nabhaya, Namo Pankaj Manine, Namo Pankaj Netraya, Namaste Pankaj Anga. The eyes, Krishna's lotus eye, lotus navel, lotus hands, lotus feet, the whole body is like lotus. Another meditation was Radharani's lotus feet is also like lotus. Her face is beautiful, pinkish like lotus. क्या बता रहा था इससे पहले?
Radharani's feet are like lotus.
Pink color.
Pink color.
Just reading chapter 1.
The nature of lotus is cool. There are, yes, her feet is naturally pinkish, reddish pinkish. Once upon a time, Krishna, seeing how the maid servants of Radharani, they are making some marks, some designs, on the ankle, on the borders, on the lotus feet of Radharani. There already naturally there are 19 marks. Yeah, but they make some designs. They make some designs. So seeing this, Krishna got so greedy. Can I get this seva opportunity? In any day, I can get this seva opportunity, I can design this. So, understanding the heart of Krishna, Lalita Sakhi, she sanctioned the permission. She granted the permission. No one has to say anything. Everything is just with eyes. Eyes speaks a lot. So Lalita Sakhi looked in the eyes of Krishna and granted. Krishna came, and he's trying to imitate like how maid servants are making drawings, etc. Moment Krishna touched the lotus feet of Radharani, shaking. Understand? And he's trying to remove that previous day red lac, in India we have red lac, alta. Krishna is trying to remove that by rubbing red lac so that he can start over again the new drawings. And by seeing that all the gopis are smiling, laughing over Krishna. And Krishna says, something is wrong. Why are they laughing on me? They're sarcastic on me if something is wrong. Then Lalita Sakhi said, Oh Lalan, oh Krishna, you thinking this is red lac? This is natural beauty of Radharani's lotus feet. Bolo Shri Radharani ki Jai. It's natural beauty, and you're thinking, you're assuming this is a red lac from previous day. No. Krishna's surprise. So, very rare to see those marks in the lotus feet of Radharani. We, as sadhakas, we get to see all once a year. Which day? Gopashtami day, and sometimes Radhashtami day also. 1 or 2 times a year. And it's also rare for Krishna and others. Only 2 pastimes where it is easy to see. One is Jhulan pastime, where Radha is on swing, and the gopis are swinging, and when seeing in the eyes of Krishna, when Lalita Sakhi and other Sakhis, they swing fast, and Radharani goes up high in air, then they get to see those marks in the beautiful Radharani's lotus feet. Whole Jhulan pastime, the swing pastime. Another, for the maid servant, this is very easy. They have access all the time. But for others, it's difficult. Means for Krishna it's difficult. Others is in a category. Krishna is others. But for Radharani and her gopis, it's easy. And when Krishna about to make drawings, this is all here in Gita Govinda. This is Gita Govinda what I am speaking. When Krishna is about to make drawings, his hand shaking, and he's not able to do this correctly. The Lalita Sakhi pushed him away. Go away. You can't do this. You can't do this. Who will believe this? Any yogis? Any jnanis? Anyone will believe this is what's happening with Parabrahm, the cause of all causes? Only Gaudiyas. Only Gaudiya Bhaktas can understand, digest this. And can hear this from Rasik Acharyas, Shri Jayadev Goswami. In Gita Govinda also, Shri Jayadev Goswami described about Vasanti Ras. There are many kind of ras. Shardiya Ras, Vasanti Ras, पहला दिन हेमंत रास, देखो हेमंत बोल रहा हूँ, हेमंत रास and forgetting now. This is what happens when you get sick and your mind is not does not function properly. Anyway, so Shardiya Ras, Maharas, Hemant Ras, और अभी क्या बोला? Vasant Ras. There are actually 5 ras. So in this in the Shardiya Ras, Maharas, all the gopis are present there. All the gopis. And Krishna is reciprocating with all the gopis, which is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Ras Leela. And in that Ras Leela, which is only done, Krishna performed Ras only and only for one purpose, to please Radharani. There's only one center. Kamsaryapi samsar vasna badashrinkhala. This is from Gita Govinda, shloka. Kamsaryapi samsar vasna badashrinkhala radha vanam hidayam tyajati vrajasundari. Krishna gave association of all the beautiful gopis. All gopis are so beautiful. He gave association and only took Radharani. And when Krishna left Radharani, he can't leave Radharani. So Radha Anam Hidayam Tyajati Vrajasundari. Krishna keep Radharani in his heart. That's what I was saying in your house. Radharamaji is what? The form of Krishna where Radharani is kept in the heart. When he disappeared from Ras Leela, that's Radharani. That day I was not remembering this verse. The mercy of Jayadev Goswami came up from Gita Govinda. Radha Vadam Hidayam. Krishna put Radharani in his heart, hiding Radharani in his heart. So no one can see, so that no one can blame her for anything. Tyajati Vrajasundari. He gave us gave association of all other gopis. That's Radharamaji. So Krishna cannot perform any. The only purpose of performing Ras, the center of Ras is Raseshwari Radharani. Only to please Radharani. That's all. And for that, he needs assistance of how many gopis? 100 million gopis. To please one personality, Radharani. He needs so many helping hands. Imagine. What is that in Radharani? Just to please one person? You need 100 million assistants? Yes. And who needs that? Krishna, who is Sarva Shaktiman, who is everything. Right? But he has no access in this domain, in this realm. He has no access. Imagine, who have access to everything, and in this domain he has no access. Access to the touch, that point where Radharani is principle of that Gurudev used to say, principle of that university of praying. Madanakya Mahabhav. Krishna has no access there. And that's why to please Mahabhav Sarupani Radha Thakurani, Krishna needs so many gopis around him. Leaving them is also to please Radharani. Understand? So, one Kansara bhi sansar vasana badh shinkhala. She is the only center point of that Ras Leela. That's the only purpose of Krishna. So what is the speciality of that Ras Leela? And what is the speciality of Vasanti Ras in Gita Govinda by Jayadeva Goswami? That Ras Leela described by Shri Shukdev Goswami. This Ras Leela is described by Shri Jayadeva Goswami. And in those, both Goswamis, both are Rasik. In both the Ras Leela, the superiority of Radharani is being presented. In union, Radharani is superior. In separation, Radharani is superior. Sacha mene taratmanam varistam sarvyoshitam hit gopi kaman aso bhajate priya tattvagaptam vanam desham driptam kesham abravit na pareham chalitum naimam yatrate manah evam uktam priyam askand uraite miti tatasya antarde Krishna savadu anvatapte. Radharani said, Krishna, I described this yesterday also, I cannot walk further because she wanted her gopis to come and see this. How Krishna is anukul, dhir lalit, anukul nayak means submissive to me, and how he is serving me. My gopis will come and they will see and they will relish this. Understand? So that's why I cannot walk. Na pareham chalitum, na imam yatrate manaha. And by saying this, Krishna, he disappeared from there. Now all the gopis came and saw, oh, Krishna only took Radharani with him and leave all of us. That means she is so superior. Hence proved. And now we are saying, when Krishna left her, she is lamenting more than us. Her separation is more than us. Because we have so much strength that we are still able to imitate the pastime of Krishna. Because they started imitating pastime of Krishna. Killing Putna, killing Shaktasur, lifting Govardhan, etc. So that means you still have some energy to do that. But Radharani, she just crying and lamenting. And that's why Shukdev Goswami said, Anne Radhito Nunam Bhagwan Hari Vishwara. The best gopi. One who has done the most aradhana, the worship of Krishna, that's why her name is Radha. No. Krishna who has worshipped aradhana, worship the gopi the most, that's why her name is Radha. Not that Radharani worship Krishna, this gopi worship Krishna most is Radha, her name is Radha. Radha means aradhana. Aradhana means worship. Understand? So not that Krishna, Radharani has worshipped Krishna the most, aradhana the most, that's why her name is Radha. No. But Krishna who have done aradhana to that gopi the most, that's why her name is Radha.
Jai.
Understand? So, Anne Radhito Nunam Bhagwan Hari Vishwara. Yagna Vihaya Govinda Pritinam. Shukdev Goswami is saying this. Lastly. So, this is one part. So, in meeting, Radharani superior. In separation, Radharani superior. And then, how about Jayadeva Goswami? He described in Vasantara, in this Ras Leela, Maharaj, Krishna disappeared from Ras Leela. Understand? And who's glorified the most? I described. Who? Radharani. Now in Vasanta Ras, Radharani left Ras Leela. She left Ras Leela. And then what's happening to Krishna? And this is the scene which Sri Jayadeva Goswami is writing. Itas tatas anusmritya anangamana khina manasa kritanutapa sakalandi nandini tatanta kunde vishada madhava. When Radharani left that Ras Leela, Vasanta Ras, Madhav means Krishna. Dhava. Dhava means one who's running after Radharani, in search of Radharani. Where she has gone? Because the center point of Ras Leela is only Radharani. If she is not there, Ras cannot take place. The most important ingredient of that Ras, there are 4 ingredients. Ras means ras, lemonade. We add so many ingredients in that: sugar or honey, black pepper, salt, lemon. So all ingredients together. So, delicious, relishable. Ras means ras, and there are 4 important ras. One is Nayak. Nayak means hero. If there is no Nayak, how can Ras can take place? Then other is Nayaka, heroine. Then the gopis, sacharis, means those gopis who are assisting Nayak and Nayaka, hero and heroine, these gopis. 3. And the 4th, very important, is that platform where Ras can take place. If you have a very hot water, and if you put in a plastic cup, what will happen? Can you drink that?
No.
It will melt. Your hand can burn. So that recipient has to be also very strong to hold that. So what's that foundation and recipient to hold such a full set and the best of Krishna pastime, which is Prem Leela, which is not Kama Leela, and where Krishna is exhibiting the most ras and the most submissiveness. And this Leela is to present and highlight the superiority of Radharani over all other gopis and even over him. The recipient has to be so powerful. What is that foundation? The 4th ingredient? Shiv Vrindavan Dham. Because Ras can only take place in Vrindavan, nowhere else. Understand? And what is that Vrindavan Dham? Radharani say, Anyar man, more man, Vrindavan. Vrindavan is the heart of Radharani. So again, the 4th ingredient is that Vrindavan Dham, which is heart of Radharani, where Ras can take place. No other place can hold this. These 3 ingredients were present in Kurukshetra also. Krishna was there, Radharani was there, gopis were there, and Krishna proposed, we can have Ras here. Because it's just you, me and gopis. She said, no. Ras cannot take place here. Because the most important, that foundation, that base is not present here. Priya soham sahachari kurukshetra milatas tadham sam radha tab uvyam sangam sukham tatrapi antar kherla madhur murli pancham jushe mano me kalindi kulindi vipanaya swaranti. Radharani said, Ras cannot take place. Only on the bank of Jamuna in Shri Vrindavan Dham. So if there is no Vrindavan, Ras cannot take place. Understand? Most important ingredient. So these 4 ingredients together make ras, ras, ras. Yeah, but amongst these 4, Krishna is the only others left over. Because Nayaka, heroine, Radharani is there. And who are the gopis? Manifestation of Radharani? The extensions of Radharani? Brahma ji is saying this, Anand Chinmay Raspati Bhavi Tabis, Tabi Neje Rupate Ava Kalabi, Golok Eva Nivasati, Makhilatma Bhuto, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamamana. All the gopis are expansion of Radharani. And what is Vrindavan now? It's heart of Radharani. So Krishna alone, and three. If Radharani leaves Ras, bas, how others can function? Krishna cannot function. So Vasanta Ras, which Jayadev Goswami is explaining in Geet Govinda. Radharani left Ras Leela. And Madhav, Krishna, whose name is Madhav, for many reasons his name is Madhav. One is Dhavit, who is running after Radharani in separation, not finding, searching everywhere, not finding Radharani anywhere. So he sat on the bank of Jamuna, calling out, Radhe, 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 Radhe. Radhe Radhe Boli Murali Dakive Madhya Ishwari Nama. Even in flute, what Krishna is singing in the flute, the glories of Radharani. And now he's chanting the name of Radharani. Radhe, Radhe. Not just like that. Seriously with separation mood. Radhe, 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 Radhe. And with that, what's happening to him? He lost his complexion. So much absorption in Radharani. So much absorption in Radharani that he lost his complexion and he turned to golden complexion. That's called very, very intense absorption. Sometimes there's some transformations. Like suppose if you have jaundice, what happens to your face? Sometimes if Hemant is very angry, what happens to his face? So every color has some significance. Why Krishna is black complexion? He's just like that. No, there is some reason behind this. Okay, don't think that song, that is just a song from Vrindavan. Tu bhed bata de kana, tera rang kala kyun, tu kala ho kar bhi जग से निराला क्यों मैंने आधी रात को जन्म लियो और काली गैया का दूध पियो तेरी कमरी का रंग काला इसीलिए काला सखी नैनों में कचरा लगाती है और नैनों में मुझे बसाती है तेरे कजरे का रंग काला इसीलिए का is this the reasons? He said I took birth in midnight, that's why I'm black. So those who taking birth in hospital after sunset, they all get black? No. What is this reason? This is a song. Yeah. Oh, मैंने काली गैया का दूध पिया. What is the meaning? I drank milk of black cow. Oh. If you drink milk, the milk is white, right? You will not become black. And Sakhi naino mein kajra laga. Kajal, you know, kajal is black. So Sakhis are putting kajal in their eyes, and they adore my beauty, and they place me through their eyes in their heart. That's why I became black. He's complaining. Imposing. That's imposition. That's not correct. Understand? What is the reason? Why Krishna is black? From Shastras. Because every rasa has some color. Dasya ras, the color of dasya ras is chit kavara. How to say chit kavara? Like mixed color. Like sometimes you see
Tie
cow,
and dye.
Huh?
Just tie and dye कर देते हैं जैसे
tie and dye. Mixed color. Like you see cow, black and white, brown and white. That's chit
If you
color.
wash a cloth
It
and
bleeds.
and it bleeds.
Yes.
Tie-dye.
Yeah, sort of tie dye, but not like in a proper
Tie
pattern.
dye. Yes, tie dye. Okay. Then Sakhiras, red. Vatsaliras, condensed red.
Condensed red means
Very deep.
Dark red.
Dark red.
burgundy. Like
Yes. And Madhuras, black. And because Krishna relished the Madhuras the most, इसीलिए काला हूँ. That's why it's black. Because of this Madhuras.
I have a question.
Wait. Then otherwise I'll forget what I want to say. Radharani, why she is golden? Oh, because she took birth midday? And she drank the milk of white cow? No. Because the color of Mahabhav is Tapta Kanchan, golden. And because Radharani relished that Mahabhav, highest limit of being, Mahabhav Surupani. That's why her color is golden complexion. And when Krishna, he begged, borrow and steal. Yeah, this is the formula, right? Beg, borrow, steal. And he did 3 of them. He begged to Radharani. He borrowed. Can you grant me 48 years? He also described, I just need your mood and your complexion 48 years. I'll return you back. Just a loan, borrowed. And he begged. How he begged? Na pare ham nirvadyu samyujam sasadu kritta vibuddhi shapiva. I cannot repay your love, but I want to repay your love. But please help me to repaying you. So can you give me your complexion and your mood together? Beg, borrow and steal. He stole.
stole kyun? She gave.
Huh?
She gave.
But he's tricky, na? He's there's one word called Vedanta.
Without the Madhav.
Vedanta
Vidanta.
Madhav.
Vidanta?
Huh.
So without the means.
He entered in the heart of Radharani and entered in the heart of Radharani and created separation in her heart, and then he stole because she didn't want you to show this to Krishna. The reason being, Krishna, you can't handle
Handle
this. See her love? You can't handle this. Only I can handle this. She used to say, Krishna, the day, when you play on flute, you know what happens to us? You can't understand this. For you, this is play. For us,
Life and death.
it's
Life
life
and
and
death.
death. So, when any day, when you become Radha, then you will understand what happens to us in your separation. So she don't want to show this to Krishna. You understand this love exchange? Because you can't handle this. Because then you will be like me, feeling so much pangs of separation. Then you will be falling on the ground. Yeah? So many. So therefore, she's keeping. But Krishna, he wants to have this jewel from the heart of Radharani. Why? Now this is Krishna. Because when I will adopt this, the entire world will see through me what Radha goes through. Understand the point? Then the entire world will see through me because I am prominent personality. I am the cause of all causes. If these emotions, these ecstasies will go on me, fall on me, then I will boldly say, because I adopted the mood and complexion of Radharani, and that's why it's happening to me, the whole world will understand the glories of my Radha. So the all purpose of Krishna, everywhere, anywhere, the center is Radharani. His love is not less, but in comparison, Radharani's pain is high. So she don't want to show this to Krishna, but Krishna wants to have this. So there is no other way out. He entered in the heart of Radharani and stole that. So when you steal someone's property or jewel or wealth or money, obviously some reaction is bound to come. So if you're stealing that jewel from the heart, and when you come out from that, lights on, from black to golden, and then Krishna, 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 Krishna Keshav, Krishna Keshav, Krishna Keshav Rakshamam, Rama Raghav, Rama Raghav, Rama Raghav, rolling on the ground, tears in the eyes, joints opening, sometimes all joints go, the whole body goes inside like a tortoise. Positive reactions, not in a negative sense. It's tasting that. So beg, borrow and steal. So question here is, he would have only asked the mood of Radharani, which was enough. Why he asked the complexion also? He only wanted to have the mood. Why complexion?
Disguise?
No. I answered this 5 minutes back. Because
Cannot hold the.
cannot hold that. That complexion is so essential to hold that Mahabhava. Black complexion, not possible. Has to be have golden complexion. That's why Mahaprabhu is golden complexion. Antar Krishna Bahir Gaur. It's not that easy. It's Gaudiya philosophy. Understand? So Vishad Madhava, Tatanta Kundya Vishad Madhava. Shri Krishna Madhav, feeling separation from Radharani. Shri Jayadeva Goswami is describing this. Yeah. And by calling out Radhe, 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 his complexion changed to golden complexion. So in Krishna Lila also, the exhibition of Gaur Lila. Mostly in Gaur Lila, there is one Panditji in India. He raised this question, which is true. Which is true. He said, we see birds on tree, but we don't see tree in birds. Correct? So it's compared this by saying that we see Krishna Leela in Gaur Leela, but we don't see Gaur Leela in Krishna Leela. So Panditji said this, and I was wondering, not in a challenging mood or defeating him, he's Vaishnava. I can't do this, he's a very scholarly person. But these are the examples where, not to a very high degree of, to very elaborate, but there are some clues, even in Krishna Leela, there is hint of Gaur Leela. Also, in this case, Krishna turned to Gauranga. Understand? In Gaur Leela, there is Krishna Leela. What is Mahaprabhu is doing is all Krishna Leela. This is 100% correct. But we cannot say in Krishna Leela there is no Gaur Leela. Also there, but in less degree. But it's there. Like it's not happening every time, Sri Jayadeva Goswami describing. So Gaur Leela is, a hint of Gaur Leela is also there in Krishna Leela. Even the name giving ceremony of Krishna happened by Gargacharya, and Sri Gargacharya already predicted this. Asan varnas rahiyasya dhritam anuyukam tanum shukla rakta tatha pitam idanim krishnatam gataha. Oh, your son in Satyuga he was white complexion, in Treta Yuga red complexion, and in Kali Yuga is going to be golden complexion. Even at the time of name ceremony is there. And this example by Jayadeva Goswami Gir Govinda. And from Ujjwal Nirmani. Sri Rupa Goswami Pada also describes this. So some hints is there. Of course, elaborate is definitely true in Gaur Leela. So these are some glories of Gir Govinda, means Sri Jayadeva Goswami, and his great work, Sri Gir Govinda, which makes even Govinda, means Krishna, so restless as Jagannath and as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, running to hear Mahaprabhu, who is so self-controlled, so much control. But when he hears Gir Govinda, he runs to that direction to hear this. Imagine how important is Gir Govinda. Jai Jai Deva Hari. And the Mangalacharan, the beginning of Gir Govinda starts with Dashavatar. Keshavadhrita Meena Sharira Keshavadhrita Kurma Rupa Keshavadhrita Sukar Rupa Keshavadhrita Narhari Rupa. He described what is the meaning of Keshav. And there are so many meaning of the word Keshav, not one or two. Kesha means Krishna whose kesh, curly hair locks, so beautiful, very beautiful, which captivate the mind of the gopis and even Radharani. Kutila Kuntalam, Shimukham Sai, Gopi Gita described. When your face is covered by your curly hairs, beautiful hairs, so his Kesha. One who has beautiful hairs, Kesha. And Brahma Shiva, Ka Isha is Sanskrit. My Ish of Brahma and Shiva is Krishna, Kesha. Understand? But the Rasik meaning of Keshav is Kesh Prasadan Tavatra. At Shingarvat, Krishna who decorated the hairs of Radharani. That's why his name is Keshav. So Kesh and Krishna who killed Keshi, demon, is also Keshav. So many reasons. So Keshavadhrita, Krishna whose name is Keshav for many reasons. All glories to Sri Jayadeva Goswami who presented this world, who is given this gift to, not this world, gift to Krishna. That Krishna is tasting this Gir Govinda day and night. Day and night Krishna relished this Gir Govinda. And imagine if we sing this every day with this mood of we are satisfying the senses of Krishna, satisfying his ears. Because there is evidence. Jagannath like this, Mahaprabhu like this. Jagannath cannot sleep without it, Jagannath cannot get up without this. So if we sing this every day just by cooking or driving, whatever, but with this mood, I want to please the ears of Krishna. All glories to Shri Jayadeva Goswami. Shri Jayadeva Goswami ki Jai. Shri Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Gaur Premanandi.
Hare Hare.
Sripad Siddhanti Maharaj ji ki
Jai. Maharaji, Dhrita is what? Keshav? Dhrita means what?
Gala. Ghee.
Huh?
मतलब
Different types of Dhrita.
मतलब one who came as
Keshav who came
Text
as
form.
Narsinga. Keshav who came as Kurma.
Kurma.
Oh, Krishna Priya sing something first. No,
One-
Krishna Priya is saying something, Maharaj.
Oh, I was just wondering what Hemant Ras is.
Acha, let me finish this first with one Mahamantra and then.
We do have a couple of more questions.
Yes. Then
Oh, she can do it. You can do it.